Hi, Suri here, and I am here with some more OC lore. For this, it's going to be 2 OCs in one because they are siblings, and they therefore have very similar lore because their lore revolves around mostly the same thing because they grew up in the same conditions. I would like to warn before this video starts, there are mentions of suicidal thoughts and self-harm tendencies in this video. Click away now if that triggers you in any way. So, currently, this is Natasha, and she is 17 years old, and she is straight and cis. She and her brother, Nathan, who is 14, and I will get to in this next bit of the speed paints, grew up in a very poor household. Their father is a deadbeat, and their mother is a huge alcoholic. And their father left when they were very, very young. Nathan was just born, and Natasha was therefore 3. This left their mother to deal with everything herself, and because of the stress and because of all the pressure of having a toddler still at home and a newborn to now raise alone, she resorted to drugs. And while it started minimal at first, it slowly increased and got worse over time, and that left Natasha to basically raised Nathan by herself. However, she didn't really do too well of a job because she's genuinely still a very young child. So, she didn't know what she was doing. This caused Natasha to slowly develop depression over time, and she started developing things also like fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. And because of the minimal support she was able to get, she didn't get much better over time. And she slowly started to experience a heavy decrease in mental health, which caused her to slowly resort to self-harm. And even though Nathan offered to help with her struggling because he clearly saw everything that was going on, she eventually took her life. And this brings me to Nathan. He is 14, as I mentioned earlier. He is also cis and straight. And he suffers from the things that I mentioned earlier in the video. But on top of all that, he suffers from the loss of his sister. And so, he also slowly fell into depression because he, at 14, was expected to care for himself, basically, while his mother did whatever the fuck she wanted. And no, their mother did not show up to Natasha's funeral. Nathan had to call 911 himself. All of this, really just causes him to spiral into depression, as I mentioned earlier. And, he obviously has friends from school because he does still surprisingly go to school. And his friends notice that, well, he's not taking his sister's death well, as anyone would. And they encourage him to take some time to himself and go to a summer camp or something, just away from his home life. And so he reluctantly does, and that is how he ends up at the summer camp, because he's in the batch of OCs that end up going to summer camp. Of course, going to summer camp isn't going to really fix everything, but being able to not be seen as the boy whose sister died definitely made his life a little bit easier. And eventually he befriended the other people that I made videos on and that I have yet to make videos on, and that's how he slowly becomes his usual self again.